Can I run a sub 45 10k with just 5 weeks prep? This series is going to find out. Welcome back to the channel and to this new mini series, Breaking 45. The plan is to run the Oswestry 10k on October the 12th in sub 45 minutes. That's only 5 weeks away. 2 months ago, I ran my personal best in the 10k at just under 48 minutes. This was, and still is, my best 10k time. I'm Andrew. I'm 42 years old and I'm rebuilding my fitness in a hybrid way. My YouTube channel is following my journey as I transform my fitness using various different methods of training, from strength training to cardio training, as I build towards taking on different challenges, from marathons to high rocks to cycling to who knows what next. But alongside this overall rebuilding of my fitness, I'll be taking on challenges along the way. Now my first is going to be this 10k run. There will be other challenges, and 2 weeks after this 10k run, I'll be doing high rocks in Birmingham. So in order for me to run a sub 45, I've got a lot to think about here. Now, there's things I'll have to consider along the way, as this won't be my only focus over the coming weeks. I play competitive football. We train on Wednesday evenings, play matches on a weekend. I don't plan on stopping that. So how am I going to integrate that into the training? I'll still be doing my strength training. How can I integrate strength training, 2 workouts a day, quite possibly, alongside improving my speed and fitness to run a sub 45? But one of the things I will have to consider is including in the next 5 weeks, I will have to consider the strength training needed to run a respectable time in a high rocks race. So although high rocks has plenty of running, improving to a sub 45 10k will help in a high rocks race. I will still need to develop my strength, upper body strength and lower body strength. So there's plenty to think about as I embark on this challenge. So as I said, a couple of months ago, I ran my personal best in the 10k. That was just under 48 minutes. So running a sub 45 is not that much of a jump. However, there's certainly things I learned from that race. But there's also things that happened during that race. I developed an injury in my calf. Now that had been coming on a few weeks before. And the reality was, for someone who had spent many, many years not moving, not running, to then get off the couch, as they say, and try and run a 10k, I just did too much too quickly. And I developed what I think was an overused injury in my calf. Now I managed to complete that 10k, but I did so a little bit injured. And that kept me off the road for a few weeks whilst I come back from that. So I've only started to increase my volume in the running. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about whether that comes back again. So as part of this training, I need to be cautious about how much volume I put in, but also I need to put in enough volume in order to run that sub 45. Another thing I learned was going out too fast. And that was a mistake I made in this race. I had a plan. I knew what my strategy was going to be. I towed the line and it completely went out the window. And I went out too fast, too soon. And that meant that along with a niggling injury, and I'd say around 5k into the race, things started to go south. So as part of this 10k, I'll need to be thinking about my strategy. And I'm not going to commit to what my strategy will be at this stage until I know where I'm at with my fitness. The goal is sub 45. Will I do sub 45? I mean, that's important, but that's not the only reason for doing this. I'm not going to win the race, but I want to challenge myself. And doing that is challenging me and me alone. Some others will do it faster, others will do it slower. Everyone will be running their race. But my goal is to try and hit a sub 45. Now I have been told that the Oswestry route is challenging, but is potentially a fast course, so I think that would be helpful. I think some of the issues I had in my last 10k was that it's quite a hilly course, so I'm hoping that this one will be a little bit flatter, although where I do live and the local races to me do tend to be quite hilly, which is good, helps with training, but sometimes you do need something a little bit flatter. And for my easy run today, that's why I've chosen to run next to the canal. So that's what this mini series is about. Breaking 45, breaking the sub 45 minute mark for a 10k. I'll go into more detail about my training plan next week, about what that looks like and how I plan to achieve it, by also keeping up the other sports that I want to play, the other training I want to do. I'm going to fit that in around work, family commitments, and so on. I'll also be outlining my strategy and how I'm going to tackle the 10k on the day. And each week, I'll update you on how the progress is going until we get to the race day. but I'll take a camera along with me and try and document and record how that goes. So thank you for watching. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, follow me on my journey as I try to break sub 45. See you next time.